How do you make characters feel different to play? You'd assume when a game has dozens of playable characters, distinction between them would be of utmost importance. And yet there would still be a point where some of them start to feel similar. As Punishing Gray Raven goes near its second month of global release, I, unlike most of you who started with the global version, as someone who has been interested in its system long before that, I started to notice something weird. Something that I absolutely never even entertained the thought of feeling. The characters felt different. Well, that does not sound too surprising. What I mean is that the means of how the characters feel different is unconventional, uncanny. It is their dodge. This inkling that the characters felt different because of their dodges or dashes has been with me for quite a bit, and recently trying out PGR in some of the other servers, thus using some of the other characters, I am all but confirmed that this is one of the major reasons they feel distinct. Most if not all PGR characters have noticeably different dodges, distinction in feel. They all have a unique sensation. So how do you think their dodges feel different? The immediate answer is, of course, they have different animations. But my question to that is, can animation alone make you feel anything distinct? If you just look at the characters zipping around the screen with nothing else to embellish those movements, can you sense the rush of their blitz? If you see someone swinging a giant greatsword, can you feel the full impact of the swing solely through sight of it alone? No, definitely not. There's a need for supplementation to express that feeling to the player as best as possible. Dare I say those supplements are even more important than the base animation itself. Most games use grunts by the characters to accompany the dodges, but PGR does something different. The sound effect of every character's dodge is different. S. Kamui's dash fully reflects the heavy armor he is wearing. Liv's dodge exhibits the utter snappiness of moving through space by teleporting. Alpha's dodge displays absolute swiftness, grace, elegance, just what you'd expect from a master swordsman. Are these realistic sound effects? No, but I don't need realism when all of them have an obvious feeling of individuality, when all of them feel different. You would assume the same characters would have the same dodge sound effect regardless of their class, and yet they all have distinctly different swiftness in their movements, and it is portrayed through their sound. This might be the most ridiculous thing I've tried to break down yet, as it does not even stop there. Most characters' dodges last for different amounts of time. To display the nimbleness and agileness of characters like A. Karenina, their dodges are very fast. I counted the frames and they last for around 20 frames, whereas heavier characters like Kamui's dodge lasts for about 30 frames. These differences in the time of their dodges, however small, make you sense the weight behind their movements when you do these for a long enough time. You can feel the visible nimbleness between the two. For the core mechanic in Punishing Gray Raven is dodging to gain matrix. The most efficient way to play is constantly switching characters to dodge and get matrix. It's imperative that you keep this up, and these time differences for the characters' dodges, the sound effects, all assemble together to make each character have a feeling that's exclusive to them. They knew they had to make the crux of the game's mechanics, the thing the game was built around, to be more than just that. It's spectacular how they mixed that with the character collecting aspects of the game as well. Having every character's dodges feel different is the most absurd, ludicrous thing to randomly think about, and yet that's what makes me appreciate this aspect so much. The fact that it will go under the radar for 99% of the players is what makes it all the more worthy of praise. But you can't tell me that the first characters you most likely got, Lucia, Liv, and Nanami, didn't feel vastly different. And what reason could be more prominent than this? all three of their dodges are completely distinct, and I believe this plays a huge role in making them feel different. But dodges aren't the only way they make distinctions between the characters. Again, you'd assume every sword wielder would have the same sound effect for their swings. And yet, you'd at least assume the same characters would have the same sound effects, regardless of their classes, and yet, the amount of detail put into this is insane. The sound direction in PGR has left me utterly spellbound, so I implore you to sometimes turn the BGM down and just listen to the sound effects while playing and appreciate the excellent attention to detail by Kurogame. Basically what I'm trying to say is PGR sound effects hit different. So if you couldn't tell, this is a follow-up video to my previous PGR video where I detailed on what made the combat feel so good. And there's one more thing I'd like to add to that. The fact that Alpha's in-game description says that she breaks the fabric of reality, and then her 3 red ping does this. The shattering effect breaks all boundaries of how cool a character can feel through one single attack. It's so pungent, so intense, the perfect way of displaying the total unfathomable force behind her attacks. Anyways, if you found the video insightful or enjoyable, I hope you leave a like and subscribe. The videos I make aren't quite favorable for the YouTube algorithm, so I'd appreciate it. Let me know if there are any other cool details you've noticed.